Details of today's bulletin. Angry mob has allegedly killed a man identified as George Sibo in Tuam Brass, headquarters of Brass local government area of Bayelsa State. Headquarters. When results from some wards in constituency 2 were being submitted, while Sibo, popularly called Kobo Kobo, was said to be an indigene of Tuam Brass and an aide to politicians from the local government. A member of the State House of Assembly representing Brass Constituency 1, Daniel Charles, who condemned the killing, has urged security agents to immediately arrest and prosecute the perpetrators and wondered why those who aspire to govern would take pleasure in violence. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Asinim Buswat, said he was awaiting details from the local government area commander in Brass. All Progressive Congress has strongly criticized alleged attempts by the People's Democratic Party and the party's candidate Governor Duyo Diri to manipulate the relocation of the result collation for Brass local government area in Brass local government as gubernatorial senatorial election. The state capital, a statement released by the National Public Secretary of the APC, Felix Moka, has said that Governor Diri is exerting undue pressure on the Independent National Electoral Commission and emphasized the imperative INEC to maintain its stance and carry out the collation of votes for Brass LGA as stipulated by the law before proceeding to Inegua for the final state collation. The statement said Brass remarkably is a major stronghold for the APC, where the people have voted massively for their candidate, Timi Preseva, adding that the move is a calculated attempt to manipulate the result of the votes in favor of PDP, noting that INEC must stand its ground and collect the votes of Brass AGA as mandated by law before moving to Inegua for the final state collation. The APC vehemently condemned Governor Diri's fervent incitement of violent protest at the Peace Park in Inegua and described it as utterly irresponsible and a violation of the oath of office as governor. Court of Appeal in Abuja has finally cleared the coast for former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Silva, to participate in Saturday's election in Bayelsa State. The appellate court dismissed the claims on suits seeking the exclusion of the All Progressive Congress governorship candidate in the gubernatorial poll. Speaking on Atlantic Television, a socio-political analyst, Dr. Patrick Dambo, said that there is no constitutional placement for the signing of a peace accord as a pre-electoral process amidst the accelerated post-electoral conflicts in the country, stressing that it was necessary for politicians to take a traditional oath of transparency before the assumption of any public office, as the case may be.
The thing at stake is more than the thing they want to do.
That's the point.
If politics in Nigeria is not glorified, everybody, in fact, they will not even come to contest. Just imagine now, you want to get an employment, they tell you, we're going to pay you 30,000. You come by 6 a.m., close by 10 p.m. You first of all look the person giving you the job. And I will do all this work, that word I will not work. And you will not get. Politics in Nigeria is over bloated, is too profiting. So people can go the extreme mile to get into office. And the power given to the state.
Well, sorry for that old story. Our senator represents Edo North Senatorial District, Adanso Shimole, has described the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, as his friend despite their political differences. The former governor of the state said this in a statement during his goodwill message at the 2023 Alegadaro Summit held in Benin City, adding that being friends doesn't mean they won't disagree or have different opinions, but must treat themselves with love and care, regardless of what people say, stressing that different options would not translates to war. On his part, Governor Obaseki said his administration focused on 6 thematic pillars, including institutional reforms, economic revolution, social welfare, and infrastructure development, among others. While presenting the 8-point communique reached at the end of the meeting to journalists, a former governor of the state, Chief John Odige Oyegu, said the parley became necessary to set an agenda for the unity and sustainable growth and development of the senatorial district. Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, as the winner of the state governorship election held on Saturday. The state returning officer for the election, Professor Aboyomi Fosina, who is also the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, Oyo Ekiti State, declared the results on Sunday morning at INEC State Collation Center in Owerri, the state capital. He declared Uzodinma of the All Progressive Congress as the winner of the election with 540,308 votes, while Samuel Ayamu of the People's Democratic Party came a distant second with a total of 71,503 votes, and Ethan Achonu of the Labour Party polled 64,081 votes to come third in the election, while Anthony Jogo of the All Progressive Grand Alliance garnered 6,392 votes to come fourth, and Jack Ogunewe of the Action Alliance came fifth with 5,756 votes. The state returning officer said the results announced by the INEC show that Uzodinma swept all the 27 local government areas of the state. Labour Party and the People's Democratic Party have called for the cancellation of the Imo State governorship election held on Saturday. The deputy governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Tony Nwulu, who disclosed this in a press conference, says security agents allegedly provided cover for some persons as they subverted the will of the people, adding that the Labour Party won with the actual votes cast in the election, saying that democracy is under the threat in the state. Nwulu said there was no election in Imo State on Saturday, and that what happened was the diversion of the electoral materials to the homes of people and LGA Council headquarters, where the police, army, and DSS provided security to the actors. In the same vein, governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Samuel Ayamu, also called for the cancellation of the election, adding that INEC and security agents failed in their constitutional responsibility to deliver credible elections to the people of the state, stressing that the security agents protected INEC staff as the APC members rewrote the results and called for a total cancellation of the poll. Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission operatives have arrested 6 suspected vote buyers during the election proceedings in Imo State. Statement released on its X account, the Independent Corrupt Practice and Other Related Offences Commission disclosed that the individuals were apprehended at 7 polling units, including Oji Mechanic Village Polling Unit 008, Concord Hotel Polling Unit 09, Rento Hotel Polling Unit 010, Township School Polling Unit 005, 007, and 008, and Ojuku Library with a total sum of 4.1 million naira was recovered from the suspect. Among the seized items were a notebook containing names and telephone numbers and a long list of voters' information discovered on 2 suspects. And following the arrest, all suspects were taken into custody, subjected to profiling, and had their statements recorded under caution, despite being released on bail while investigations into the matter are ongoing. From Anambra State comes the report that Anambra Road Traffic Maintenance Agency has banned hawking and loading of vehicles on the Niger Bridge. The bridge usually experiences huge traffic during Christmas when holiday makers begin to travel back home for the Yuletide, and the traffic on the first bridge is yet to abate. Public Relations Officer of ARTMA, Mrs. Nkem Umadi, said that the agency has noted that the bridge had become a loading bay for motorists, while hawkers mill around the bridge, stressing that passengers who move around the bridge waiting to catch vehicles there instead of going to the parks will be arrested. The agency further said all commercial vehicle doors must be kept closed to prevent passengers from entering or alighting at will, as officers will be on the lookout for offenders. Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Hanes and Igbo Youth Council Worldwide, had advised the Labour Party governorship candidate in Enugu State, Marisa Chijioke Edoga, to end further litigation over the outcome of the 2023 election. The group made the appeal while reacting to the appeal court judgment which upheld the election of Governor Peter Mba of the People's Democratic Party, adding that a three-man panel resolved all the issues in favor of the respondent, Mba, while Edoga has since indicated interest to appeal the judgment. A statement by the national president of the Hanes Ndibo Youth Wing, Mazioku Nabuike, urged the Labour Party candidate not to pursue the matter further and congratulated Peter Mba for recording an expected victory at the appeal court, noting that it would not be different from the sound judgment delivered by the tribunal. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kezie Kano, raises concern over impact of sit-at-home order by the indigenous people of Biafra on the growth and development of the Southeast region. Kano expressed his concern during a courtesy visit from a delegation representing Aba Creatives Collective, the organizers of the Aba Fashion Show, held annually every December. Reacting on Atlantic Television Network, a socio-political analyst, Opaka Dokubo, said federal government moves towards the resolving of the sit-at-home issues confronted in the Southeast is not proactive, viable to the capacity of quelling the matter, and urges Okano of the House of Reps to advise governors to ensure resolution of the crisis.
As it were, the federal government has not been able to get to the center of it all, or appears not to be doing enough with regards to exactly what the hue and cry is about. And it's about touching the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. The day federal government decides to resolve that matter, we will now clearly see who are the criminals. You will now begin to isolate the issues, and then let us now see who is the issue. Yeah. As long as that matter remains in limbo, as long as the federal government keeps foot dragging with regard to resolving that matter once and for all, you will always have this. So for me, Kalu is today the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. He sits in a position where he should be able to bring pressure on the government to ensure that that matter is given the attention that it deserves. And let us now see. Let us remove the chaff from the wheat, and then we'll know what we're dealing with. But to continue to have it in the mix of all that, this issue of Southeast and West crying and shouting, that is where it came from. And that is where you need to touch before you say, well, we have now seen the criminals, and then let us deal with the issue of criminality.
Speaking further, you noted that Mr. Kanu must ensure further steps to supporting the governors to provide adequate security measure in the Southeast.
Particular point in time is its responsibility to actually tell the people where this issue is or what the federal government is actually doing to ensure that this matter is put to rest, and then the Southeast as a region has a right atmosphere and everything to do business for which they are truly known. It is good that when you talk business, it will go with security. There is nowhere where there is insecurity and then you are talking business. Where do you get that from? So it has to be, but that would mean that you must first and foremost take the issue of security first and let that matter be resolved. Then you can now begin to talk business. So, and if you are the one on whose table that issue, is on, I don't understand how you are the one now to telling the people, pointing them to that problem. Oh, that, that problem exists. Hey, it exists. It's on your table to resolve it. So what are you doing to resolve that matter? I think, yes, he should, that's the way he should have gone about it. And sometimes I even wonder when these people lament the people who ought to be the ones you are looking up to as people who should be resolving the matter, when they speak in tones of lamentation. I wonder, sometimes I wonder why they even put out themselves of the positions they occupy.
Well, this report comes from Ebonyi State. National Chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Sly Ezokenwa, has asked members in Ebonyi to eschew all forms of disunity as the party commences digital registration of members in the state. Ezokenwa, who disclosed this while addressing ABGA members during his official visit to the state at the weekend, appealed to members of the party to bury the hatchet and join hands with Mr. Emmanuel Chukwudi Nwankwo-led state executive to build a united and formidable party. Ezokenwa also asked the state executives of the party to brace up and build a united and strong ABGA in Ebonyi State. Through the inclusive leadership, adding that party will soon commence a digital online membership registration, within that one of his brainchild programs for ABGA is called the ABGA Foundation for the Less Privileged in Nigeria. He warned that under his watch, discipline is one of the core objectives for what he tagged my 6-point agenda for ABGA, saying his tenure will not hesitate to raise the sledgehammer on whosoever violates the constitution of the party. National chairman also applauded the governorship candidate of the party in the 2023 election, Professor Bernard Ifeanyi Chukwudo, and other leaders in the party in Ebonyi State for their efforts, and tasked members to continue to pray for God's favor upon his ex-Guber candidate, Odo. From Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has congratulated his Imo State counterpart and the All Progressive Congress candidate, Governor Hope Uzodinma, on his victory at the Saturday's governorship election in the state, saying his election is well-deserved. Sanwo-Olu, in a congratulatory message issued by his chief press secretary, Boyega Akosile, said Uzodinma's success in the election is a validation of people's acceptance of his administration, having impacted possibly in the lives of the citizens during his first term in office. He said the people of Imo State deserve commendation, coming out en masse to perform their civic responsibility and for defying all odds to vote for Governor Uzodinma-led APC in the state. Adding that Governor Uzodinma's victory is a clear manifestation that APC remains the party of choice for Nigerians, stressing that the party will continue to work in the best interest of Nigerians in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. So therefore commended President Tinubu for creating a level playing field for the gubernatorial elections in the Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states. Osun State Fire Service has confirmed that 17 shops were destroyed in an early morning market fire in Ile-Ife. The dam fire, which razed some parts of Ojo Tuntu Market, described as the largest market in the ancient town, also destroyed goods worth millions of naira. Spokesperson of Osun State Police Service, Adekunle Ibrahim, said the cause of the fire could not be ascertained, while the raging fire had affected a building that has 16 shops and a container within the market. Public Relations Officer of the Osun Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Koinde Adeleke, also confirmed the fire incident, adding that operatives of the command were on guard at the scene to prevent looting. Firemen battled to halt the spread of the fire to other parts of the market. The head of market women and the Ojo Tadu market, Paliat Lawa, lamented repeated fire outbreaks and recalled that years ago, the Market Association called on state government to restructure the market and turn it into a major trading center. Lawal observed that shops in the market were poorly spaced, leading to congestion and exposure to collateral damage. President Bola Tinubu has reiterated his administration's commitment to collaborate with traditional rulers across the country to improve security and ensure peace in their local communities in order to bring unprecedented development. Tinubu stated this during the 70th birthday celebration of Oba Victor Kiladejo, the Osamewe of Ondo Kingdom, held at the Diocese of Ondo of the Anglican Communion of the Cathedral Church of St. Stephen in Ondo City. Said the collaboration became necessary for peace and tranquility to reign across the country. The president, who was represented by the Minister of Interior, Honorable Olubimi Tunji Ojo, noted that the last 17 years' reign of Oba Kiladejo in Ondo Kingdom has been very peaceful, saying that the monarch has been enjoying the support of the people of the ancient town, and commends the Ondo monarch for the giant strides recorded in terms of infrastructural and human capital development. Tinubu urged everyone to continue supporting the traditional ruler in ensuring that there was peace and security while the kingdom continued to develop. Forum for the Advancement of Development and Democracy has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to urgently investigate the circumstances that led to politicians holding result sheets before the commencement of voting in Kogi State governorship election held Saturday. While addressing a press conference in Lokoja, the legal officer of FAAD, Uruma Ayuba Musa, charged INEC to condemn in strong terms the pre-filing of result sheets and start a transparent process that gives confidence the electoral body is serious against electoral offenders. A group for the Advancement of Development and Democracy has called on Independent National Electoral Commission to urgently investigate the circumstances that led politicians holding result sheets before the commencement of voting in Kogi State governorship election held on Saturday. Also said FAD monitored the commencement of distribution of polling materials and noted that the vigilance of the general public has helped to improve the performance of the election in the state and put the electoral officers and the staff INEC on their toes. Some still failing in their responsibilities due to the due process and law, probably due to threat to life or pecuniary interest. Also speaking, the data officer of FAD, Ibrahim Collins, while calling for the cancellation of election results in Kogi Central for alleged pre-filing of result sheets, said it is repugnant to natural justice when someone is said to have given birth when she has never been pregnant. Social Democratic Party in Kogi State has called for the cancellation of results of the November 11th governorship election in the state. SDP made a call at the gubernatorial election collation center where the party's collation agent, David Edibu, submitted a petition to the Independent National Electoral Commission calling for the cancellation of the results in Okene, Okei, Ogori, Mangogo, Adavi, Ajakuta local government areas, while as some parts of our Lokoja alleging corrupt practices, vote buying, and overvoting. As agents of the Social Democratic Party, we are not allowed to get close to the polling units in the local government areas, while the state returning officer, Professor Johnson Orame, received the petitions on behalf of the Commission and assured the Social Democratic Party that the petition will be reviewed. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party said it will key into the petition of the Social Democratic Party, while the coalition agent of the People's Democratic Party, Abaka Mahmood, added that the number of malpractices in the said local government area was alarming. However, the All Progressive Congress, while reacting to the call for cancellation, said the People's Democratic Party cannot blame anyone for not bringing agents to the polling units. Police Service Commission has applauded the officers and men of the Nigerian police force for resisting the hijack of off-cycle election by miscreants. Head of the Press and Public Relations Ike Chukwuani, the statement said the Police Service Commission staff monitors deployed to the 9 senatorial districts of Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states said the policemen on election duty were courageous and fairly contained intermittent cases of attempts to hijack the elections, adding that the officers in several of the polling units visited were said to be cautious, approachable, and professional. Adding that according to the statement, the officers on election duty were complemented by the officers from the sister agencies, while the chairman of the commission, Dr. Solomon Arase, retired Inspector General of Police, who monitored the exercise in Kogi, commended 3 Deputy Inspectors General of Police, Frank Mba, Sani Habiu, and Daniel Isokariari Pedro, who supervised police operations in the state, with their quick response to the Commission's intermittent request for police intervention in troubled areas. Arase advised that the police should remain on guard and prepare to forestall any breakdown of law and order after the announcement of the election results, adding that in few places where there were pockets of police misconduct, the police management should quickly investigate and forward its recommendations to the Commission. Immediate disciplinary action. Arasa said the Commission will continue to monitor police conduct during elections as it puts the police on its toes for optimal performance. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission operatives arrested 14 suspects alleged to be vote buyers in Oltuoke, at Dawari Playgrounds in Bayelsa and other polling units in Imo and Kogi states. According to Yewale, a total sum of 1140,000 naira, comprising 310,000 naira, intercepted from suspected votes, buyers and sellers in Bayelsa, and 1,7300 naira interception from electoral fraud suspects across Imo State were recovered from them. Reacting to Atlantic Television, a socio-political analyst of Pakadokubo said no winning governor should be sworn in until every electoral abnormalities and allegations are cleared in order to set a track deterrent for subsequent elections.
It wouldn't be wise to hold on, to just put everything on hold until this. What I subscribe to is that nobody should be sworn in until all issues are cleared.
Okay.
So, but at this level, at this point, because if, like I said, if it is particular to certain units or polling areas or whatever, you deal with those ones. And at the end of the day, if what you have, the issues you have, is such that could affect the outcome of the result, of course, that is when you talk about inconclusiveness. But if it is not, you go ahead and declare, and then. But I am saying that, see, whether it is just one polling unit, we should get our laws to that point, whether, even if it is just one polling unit, that you found such an issue, and you are able, through investigation, trace it conclusively to a political party or a politician, that is a candidate in that election, that person should not benefit from whatever, should clearly, outrightly be taken off the race. At whatever, even if the person is declared, that rules the person.
I emphasize that it will be an overwhelming situation and disregard to the Nigerian politics and democracy if electoral umpires do not met out appropriate sanctions to political gladiators and parties involved in electoral manipulations in the country.
There you put all of this and continually mess up the entire system, and at the end of the day, you benefit from it. Look, whoever is caught, this is not the first time they are catching people who, I mean, with regard to vote buying and all of that. What happened to the other ones? And that is why it is continuing. As happened to the ones they caught before. So it will continue because there is no serious consequences for those who engage in them. If a politician knows that, see, this money I am giving, if I give it and it gets to somewhere and it is like somebody I would saw on social media holding this in and say, okay, this ammunition, he mentioned the candidate, somebody gave it to me and all of that, and you trace it and truly find out, what are you still waiting for? It's conclusive. We need to weed such politicians off our system, and then we can begin to say we are making headway. But as long as you do by any means to condone these ones, as long as they can get to court and by one technicality or the other, they will still find themselves in power, eventually benefit from.
Arranging the victory of Caleb Mswang. This is coming after Mswang of the People's Democratic Party had 525,299 votes, while Goshue pooled 481,370 votes in the March 18 governorship election in the state. While Goshue challenged the election of Mswang at the tribunal, claiming that the governor was not validly nominated and sponsored by his party. He equally alleged that the election of Mswang was not conducted in compliance with the Electoral Act, and Mswang did not win the majority of lawful votes cast during the election. However, a three-member panel of the tribunal, headed by Justice R. Irele Ifije, in a unanimous decision, dismissed the petition for lacking in merit, while the APC candidate appealed the tribunal judgment. He insisted that the governor was not qualified to have contested the election because he was not validly sponsored and nominated by the political party, and argued that the PDP lacked structure and was not qualified to sponsor any candidate in any election. A three-member panel led by Justice Elfreda Williams Daudu, after listening to the submission of the council, reserved judgment to a date to be communicated to the parties. Socio-Economic Rise and Accountability Project has urged the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, to identify and arrest sponsors of electoral violence, electoral offenses in the ongoing November governorship election in Kogi State. The group urged INEC chair to promptly establish a joint, credible, transparent, effective, and broad-based investigation into allegations of electoral bribery and violence in the off-cycle governorship elections. Statement issued by the SIRAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, SIRAP also urged him to disclose the spending details of the governorship elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states, including the specific amount spent to conduct voter and civic education activities carried out in these states. Letter dated 11 November 2023, signed by SIRAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization said if INEC is to live up to its constitutional and statutory responsibilities, it must take bold and effective measures to combat the culture of impunity for electoral bribery and violence in the country, adding that the recurring cases of electoral bribery and violence make a mockery of Nigeria's electoral process and participatory democracy. Former Federal Minister Senator Shehu Sani former federal lawmaker Senator Shehu Sani says unlike the country's electoral system is reformed, until the country's electoral system is reformed, vote buying, recruitment of leadership will remain only for the highest bidders. Shehu stated this in a post on his official X handle while reacting to reports of vote buying that marred the gubernatorial election conducted on Saturday in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states, adding that some politicians were arrested by the security operatives on Saturday, that they were caught with huge amounts of money, allegedly for vote buying. According to Shehu, if the country continues to operate a democratic system that encourages vote buying, only the highest bidders will continue to rule. Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has accepted the decision of the Senate to probe alleged admission racketeering in universities. This is coming after Senate on Wednesday agreed to investigate an allegation of admission racketeering in the nation's university, following a motion moved by Senator Onyeka Nwebonyi, representing Ebonyi North in the National Assembly. Nwebonyi, who cited admission travails of one Chinyere at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, alleged that university staff members conspired with JAMB officials to carry out unwholesome practices, prompting the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, to call for fair hearing, saying JAMB was known to be a reputable institution. Reacting to the development during this year's Customer Service Week of the board in Abuja, Professor Ishaq Oluyode commended the Senate for giving opportunity to the exam body to defend itself over the issue. The Senate President said JAMB must be heard because JAMB has integrity, and assured the public that the board and its staff will be vindicated over the mediating role of exam body as played between candidates and institutions, ensuring equity and fairness. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go away.
5-4 Empire Entertainment, in collaboration with River State Television, presents International Legendary Grand Award 2023. Theme: The Distinguished Conference, and Academic Beauty Queen Nigeria 2023 Season 5, The Beaut Elect Project, the #1 educational project contest nationwide. Performing Original Stereo Mind, GYC, MC Mumu, Odogu Vibes, etc. Host Lady Chinyere Nwabweze, Nollywood star actress, and Emeka Okoye, Nollywood actor, and other special guests of honor. Date: 19th November 2023. Venue: Silver Blaze Garden and Hotels, 39 Eze Baka Baka Avenue, Woji Road, Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. Time: green carpet, 4 p.m. Main event, 5 p.m. Tickets: regular, 2,000 naira. VIP, 5,000 naira. Table for 5, 50,000 naira. Gold table, 300,000 naira. Diamond, 1 million naira. For more information, partnerships, and sponsorships, please call 0813 359 3563 or 0906 047 4445. You can also email us at 54ckempire@gmail.com. Powered by 54 Empire Entertainment, Eloquent Suite, River State Television, Silver Blaze Garden and Hotels, Wish 99.5 FM, Atlantic Television Network, AIT, and 8 Ball Play Lounge, etc.
Welcome back. Up next is business news. President Bola Tinubu and his visit to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia has assured potential investors of the free flow of their funds in and out of Nigeria, adding that there will be no bottlenecks. Tinubu premised his assurance on reforms by his administration, particularly the discountenance of petrol subsidy and unification of the exchange rate, adding that the arbitrage around the nation's old foreign exchange regime and the corruption that was associated with it is also gone, as he opened talks with the captains of Saudi Arabian industry at the Nigerian Saudi Investment Roundtable in Riyadh. Last invited to the President of Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngilale, who disclosed this in a statement. He signed on title President Bola Tinubu to Nigeria Saudi Investment Roundtable, maintained that his team of ministers and aides were working to erase the justification for every negative notion about Nigeria's business climate in the past with respect to ease, monetary policy and trade cooperation, and assured the Saudi business community that Nigeria had a ripe market and human capital for investors to prosper. In his remarks, the Saudi Arabia's Trade and Investment Minister, Khalid El Fett, Fali noted the passion and candid expression of Nigerian leaders, saying that after listening to Tinubu's remarks, the Saudi investment community would respond with substantial new investment across several sectors of Nigerian economy. Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Hussein Magaji, has assured his commitment to the full implementation of his four-point agenda to improve the revenue and overall operations of the agency. A statement signed by the head of Media Section, Public Affairs Unit, Rashid Mahe, registrar who stated this during a working visit to the CAC Kano office, said, improving the Commission's revenue will be given top priority attention during my tenure and total support to achieve this goal, unquote. The registrar, during an interactive meeting with staff at the state capital, the Human Capital Development Institution, building staff welfare and improving the Commission's revenue will be given top priority attention. Also use the forum to stress the need for company owners to ensure adequate filing of annual returns with the Commission to avoid being sanctioned. Speaking on welfare matters, Ishaq Magaji said hard-working officers would not only be commended, but will be handsomely rewarded, and called on CAC staff to join him in building a stronger Commission in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. You're watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is International Tidbits. Former Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission and head of the Economic Community of West African State Observers Mission in Liberia, Professor Atahiru Jega, has advised political actors and election stakeholders involved in Liberian presidential election to be guided by the rule of law and fair play. The runoff poll is slated for Tuesday, November 14, 2023, and a statement released by the ECOWAS mission said Professor Jega met successively with Mr. Frank Musa Dean, Jr., Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Liberia, Mrs. Davideta Brown Lansana, President of the National Electoral Commission, some civil society actors, and the ECOWAS technical team, and discussed the preparation of for the polls and challenges for a peaceful, free, transparent, and credible electoral process. Addressing ECOWAS observer, Jega advised them to carry out their tasks within the confines of the extant electoral legal frameworks and in accordance with international standards, and stressed the need to avoid interfering in the electoral process and to use the skills and tools acquired through their training, while asking them to make possible recommendations to improve the electoral process and the ECOWAS election observation mission. The Commission for the Political Affairs, Peace and Security, ECOWAS, Abdul Fattah Musa, expressed satisfaction with the high profile of the ECOWAS electoral mission observers and charged them to remain objective in their observations in the exercise. We're going to entertainment news now. On entertainment news, Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Ayodeji Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, shone at this year's British Photography Award held in London at the weekend. The Star Boys performance picture at Glastonbury Festival earlier this year won the event category award, British Photography Awards. The iconic picture was taken by London-based freelance photographer and graphic designer Nick Hall, and Wizkid has now become the first Nigerian celebrity whose image won a British Photography Award. And to sports, Barcelona is exploring conditions to sign Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester City. The Super Eagles midfielder stayed with the English club despite their relegation from the Premier League last season. The 6-year-old signed for the Foxes in 2017 has made 252 appearances for the club in all competitions, contributing 14 goals and 16 assists in the process. He only has a contract with Leicester City until next June, and he is widely expected to leave as a free agent, and the club has a long-term admirer, has been a long-term admirer of Ndidi, and the La Liga agents are hopeful of signing him in June 2024. Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and Juventus are also said to be keen. El Barça is believed to be at the head of the key for his signature. Transport manager Abdoulaye Avi is opting for Paul Onachu to win the Goal of the Year award for his superb strike against Kayosopor. Onachu scored a spectacular winner for Trabzonspor to beat the visitors 2-1 and showed great awareness to meet a cross from Enis Deston and struck the ball with the back of his head. Avci congratulated Onachu, and his second goal may be the goal for the year, and the 29-year-old has scored 6 goals in 8 league appearances for Blue Brundy. He joined Trabzonspor from Sky Bet Championship, Southampton, on loan this summer. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. One killing brass collection center in Bayelsa State. INEC affirms Uzodinma win.